want to show you guys some of the books I got over the weekend while secondhand shopping in New Jersey. One of them I actually picked up from Abe Books, but they're all secondhand. This first book is titled The Gift of Black Folk by W.E.D. Du Bois. In this book, Du Bois recounts the history of African Americans in America and all of our contributions to the country, from some of the early development of America in terms of agriculture and bravely fighting in some of the first battles that established this country, to the creative genius of Black Americans who have worked in the arts, such as music, painting, sculpture, literature, theater, and innovation. He highlights the unique contributions to America that were done by Black American women, and he proposed the idea that the freedom of Black women could lead to the freedom of all women. I actually did my second grade Black History Month project on W.E.D. Du Bois. I had to research him and I had to dress like him and do a presentation. I thought he had a very cool name, and that's why I picked him, and I'm glad I did because obviously he is a genius. The next book is Sartre's Literary and Philosophical Essays. I actually have a lot of vintage Sartre, and I just want to show you. Not bragging, I promise. It's just so easy to find, which I love. Ah, I love this one. This one, I think everybody has this one. And then I think this one is vintage. I would assume from the design. Let's see. Ooh, 1984. So yes, I think that counts. Do you believe that this is a short collection of writings that explore themes related to literature and philosophy? I found while researching this book, which I find quite interesting, is Sartre's idea of bad faith and those who act within bad faith. He explains that there are individuals who attempt to avoid responsibility, denying their own freedom, and or by claiming that their actions are premeditated. I do believe that that is tied to religion. I'm not 100% sure. So if someone has read this, please let me know. But this sounds so interesting. I cannot wait to read this. It feels more like a summer and spring book for me. I do read a lot of existentialism in the summer when I'm inside avoiding the heat because, as I stated in my last video, I don't do well in the heat. The next book is 9 Stories by J.D. Salinger. This one has my favorite cover. This one and a Steinbeck, which you'll see soon, have my favorite covers. I actually have never heard of this. I do love Salinger. I have 2 copies of The Catcher in the Rye. I want to read more short stories. I think I will read this one in March. Feels like a March book for some reason. So I'm going to add that to maybe my March TBR. This book is The Origin of Species by Charles Darwin. I mostly got this for the cover, I will not lie. However, I do want to read more science nonfiction this year. I mostly just read political work, philosophy, theology, and I think that's it. Yeah, I think those are my big 3 for nonfiction. I want to add in science. I love science. I actually purchased a copy of this book in high school because I was obsessed with evolution and I tried to read it to understand it. I'm going to be honest, I don't think I did. So I cannot wait to reread it now. I'm slightly wiser and smarter, hopefully. The next book is, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right. This one actually is not mine, but I just wanted to show you guys because I love the cover. Yijing. Don't know anything about this book. From what I have researched, I believe in the 9th century, this type of ancient Chinese divination was invented, or at least that's what is recorded. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I just wanted to show you the book anyways because it's so cool. And I want to show you. I don't know what these are. How cool that is. I don't know what that is. I see yin, yang, sun, li. I don't know the rest. I have Duolingo level Chinese. Oh, this is cool too. You can see the picture a little bit more. The last book is The Log of the Sea of Cortez by Steinbeck. Another book I knew nothing about when I picked it up. I mostly picked it up for its beautiful cover and design. What I have researched, this book details a 6-week expedition he made with his friend in 1940 in the Gulf of California, also known as the Sea of Cortez, which is such a beautiful name to me. It's nonfiction. I also cannot wait to read this. I think this is another spring, summer book for me in the nonfiction category. The last book I picked up from Abe Books, it is At the Bottom of the River by Jamaica Kincaid. The only thing I know about this book is that it explores themes of family between mothers, daughters, fathers, and it has to do with her childhood upbringing in the Caribbean somewhat. I actually want to read this very soon. I might try to read it within the next few days. Okay, so those are all of the books I picked up secondhand shopping, either online or in person. Like I said, a few weeks ago on TikTok, I spoke about the connection I discovered between Sula by Toni Morrison and Bone Black by Bell Hooks. Recently, I finished Tar Baby by Toni Morrison, and I wanted to go back and read a couple of passages to reflect on what I've read, and also because it kept reminding me of another book, and that book is A Small Place by Jamaica Kincaid. It is one of the reasons why I also want to read At the Bottom of the River. I strongly believe that reading all three of these books would be great for extended learning, especially on the themes and concepts that Toni Morrison writes about in Tar Baby. Both Toni Morrison and Jamaica Kincaid are exploring colonialism, racism, and classism. There's such a separation between the different Black ethnic groups throughout Tar Baby, and this separation is caused not only by the white settlers, but also by the Black people themselves. Each group sees themselves as above or different from the other. I find that Jamaica Kincaid's essay helps further explain the feelings of some of the characters in Tar Baby, especially those who were born on the island. Personally, this is my favorite way to read. I like to make connections between different books, and I like to pick a theme and stick with it for a while. So I'm not sure, other than At the Bottom of the River, what I will read to continue this theme. If you have any recommendations that further explore these themes, especially when it comes to the slave trade within the Caribbean and how colonialism still affects the people there today, I would love to read them. I forgot to mention that I think I'm going to do my media wrap up and like reading wrap up at the end of March. I've just been so busy in February that I don't have much. I'm still reading Nikki Giovanni's poetry. I am also. Ooh, should we do a March TBR? I think we should. I will be right back. I think we should do that because I have a couple books that I need to read. One book I need to start reading right away because I need to have it done before the 15th. So I will be right back with that. Okay, I've already spoken about quite a few of these on my channel, so I'm not going to go into them. I'm just going to tell you which books I would like to read and prioritize in March. So the first one is Devils by Dostoevsky. I think I'm like 80% sure I will at least start this in March. This book I will start and finish before March 15th. This is Moby-Dick. Kurt and I are going to the opera, and I'm so excited. It's my first opera. I can't wait. I haven't read this. They've read it. I don't know what Kurt thinks. So, Kurt, if you are watching, let me know. You probably told me, and I sadly forgot. Actually, I think Kurt said it was good. Just long. So I'm going to be reading that on my Kindle most of the time, I think, so I can just get through it quickly. As I said earlier in this video, I want to read 9 Stories by Salinger. Passing is still on my list as well. It's pretty short, so I think I can get to it. I'm going to be prioritizing more reading in March. For February, I was trying to balance both work and YouTube, and I think I kind of have a good schedule now. So I see myself reading a lot more in March, especially if it's something shorter like this. Fahrenheit 451. I never read this in high school, so I feel like I should read it by now. I think I'm too old to have read it, so I'm going to try to read this. If not March, I think April. Just Beyond Good and Evil, another one I would love to at least start in March. I have to keep my Nietzsche project going. I didn't read any of his work in February, so I would like to start back up in March so that I'm not too lost once I start picking up his work again. Last book I would like to read is Afropessimism. I started this one last year. I didn't finish it. I think I would be in a better headspace to finish it this year. I'm thinking now that I'm talking about it, this feels a little bit more like a warm weather book. Do not know what it is with nice weather and depressing philosophy and myself, but I love that. So I think I'm gonna wait until it warms up some more. But if I don't feel like reading anything else, I will start this again in March. Now I want to talk to you about I forgot one. At the Bottom of the River by Jamaica Kincaid. Okay, so forget everything I said. I would be reading Moby-Dick, and I would be reading this alongside Nikki Giovanni's poetry, and I'm still listening to Angela Davis's autobiography. I'm almost done. I like to do things in silence a lot, so I'm not always listening to something, so that's why it's taking me so long, but I'm almost there. I want to read this because, as I stated earlier in the video, I think, or I don't know if I mentioned this, I'll have to see in editing, but I think reading this alongside Tar Baby would be a good idea for expanding my knowledge on the topics that are written about in both Jamaica Kincaid's work and in Toni Morrison's book. Okay, now we can do February favorites. My first one is my mini LL Bean, and she's right here. So cute. I saw these online and I knew immediately I wanted to buy it. I texted my 2 friends who love LL Bean and their totes. One of them already had this one, my friend Mel, and this like exact white with her initial on it. I just told her, I hope you know that I'm copying you because I need the same thing with a G. I just love it. It fits so much. Look at this. And my iPad can fit in here. I'm trying not to spill everything out. I can fit my iPad in here and probably like another book. She's perfect. It being white is a little bit scary. Actually, I'll put it back here. But it's usually fine. Favorite is flower tea. We just get these from the Chinese supermarket, so I don't know the brand name. But I don't know, they're just good. Lasted us about a year, I think. We're just now running out. Obviously, we love the rose a lot, but I like to mix them, and I usually like to just have tea after I've had coffee because I kind of only like warm drinks. I'm not a big fan of cold drinks. I don't even like cold water. I prefer everything to be hot, so I drink a lot of flower tea. For skincare favorites, I have, this is probably getting blown out from the diffusing filter that's on my camera. This is Bioderma though. I think everyone knows what this is. I had to stop using oil cleansers. There's just not a single one on the market my skin likes. Using this like I did in college. It's quick, it cleans off all of my makeup, I don't break out. I love it. The Road Glazy Milk, I've used it since it came out, and this is my third bottle. I will be ordering my fourth. I think that's when I will finally replace my expired blush, and I think I might want to try one of the Road blushes because I think they got reformulated to work on darker skin. Yeah, I think so. So I will probably try that. I have this smallest amount left. It's killing me. I like to put this on when I don't want to wear moisturizer, and I also wear this right before I do my makeup usually. It's the only milky toner I found that I truly love so far. I've tried some other ones and they're hydrating, but nothing really works with makeup as well as this does, for me at least. This is my scent combination that I think I've been wearing since December, but last month I wore these two together a lot, and it's Le Lion by Chanel and Bois Corset, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, by Diptyque. This is my favorite from the Diptyque collection that I own. A few of you have asked me about all of them. I will be honest, I am not a perfume creator. I will not pretend to be one and pretend that I know the difference between a base note and what mid note. Is that even it? I don't know. I love watching women talk about perfume. Favorites are Kimmy reviews, Melissa, obviously, and ooh, is it Caroline Stern? I think that's right. I love her perfume videos. I know I don't typically love sweet scents, but at the same time, I don't know if those two count as sweet because they seem kind of sweet to me. I like amber, musk, wood, moss, like grass, dirt, anything like that. Not too big on florals, but sometimes they smell good. Like iris usually smells good to me. I think that might be it for my favorites, and that will be it for this video. I will see you next week. Thank you for watching, and also thank you for all your kind words on my last video. I really appreciate it. I will be back next Saturday, God willing. I can't wait to see you then. Have a nice weekend and a nice week ahead. Bye.